April 8th, about 1:46 p.m. I want to welcome our Vice Chair, Ms. Fuller. Welcome, and also to my colleague to my right, Mr. Canella. We'll be joined by our other members shortly. So why don't we establish a quorum and begin this hearing. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Canella?
Here.
Canella here. Leyva, Mitchell, Fuller? Here. Fuller here. DeLeon?
Here.
DeLeon here.
Okay, we've established a quorum. Let's go to bill referrals. Let's go to file item number 1. I think we reviewed it already. Do we have a motion? Motion made by our Vice Chair, Ms. Fuller. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Canella?
Aye.
Canella, aye. Leyva, Mitchell, Fuller? Aye. Fuller, aye. DeLeon?
Aye.
DeLeon, aye.
Okay, measure passes. We'll keep it open for the other members so they can add on. Let's go to file item number 2. Governor's appointee, which is the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board. That is Mr. Dressler. Mr. Dressler, please come on up.
Thank you.
Welcome, Mr. Dressler.
Good afternoon.
Do you have any significant individuals you'd like to introduce before you give us a brief statement?
Yes, my wife, Choco Leandro Dresser, and my son,
Welcome.
Jonathan Dresser.
We just saw each other outside in the line. Welcome. Okay, Mr. Dressler, welcome, and why don't you give us a brief statement?
When I was appointed in February of 2011, we were under the QAB, the California Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board, corrective action from the Department of Labor. We were at risk of possibly losing our funding or having other measures taken. Now I'm proud to report the last 2 years we've been in full compliance with Department of Labor standards, both the time-lapse standard and the case aging standard, which really means we're getting our cases out, our decisions out in a timely manner. And that's important, obviously, if a claimant's entitled to benefits, then we need to get that decision out so the claimant can have the benefits in order to pay their rent and buy their groceries. For employers, if their reserve account is being unfairly charged, it's important for employers to know that that won't happen. So I'm very proud of that, and we've managed to eliminate the backlog, be timely, and be consistent with Department of Labor quality standards for the last, actually, 10 years. We received a 90 80s passing December 31st of 2014. So we have, I think, done a good job, thanks to the hard work of the judges primarily, support staff, and to a certain extent the board as well. And that is my statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dressler, for your brevity. We're going to open up for questions of the members of your person. When we start here to my left, our Vice Chair, Ms. Fuller.
Mr. Dresser, we had a very good conversation the other day, and I've looked over the charts and data you provided me, and it clearly demonstrates that the board's work is reducing the backlog and coming into compliance with the Department of Labor standards. I commend you on that, and you have received good reports from my constituents and members of my district office who feel that actually the work you have done in the leadership for your board has improved the overall process and made it more responsive to them. So I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you.
And I will be in support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, Mr. Canella.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem. I had a chance to meet with Mr. Dressler as well, and I'm impressed with the agency. I think you've done a great job. I think the board's done a great job. My father works for the board, and he's has a lot of confidence in Mr. Dressler and the agency as well. So I can't see why we would not reappoint you. I think that we would go backwards if we didn't do that. So I look forward to supporting you today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Canella. Mr. Dressler, obviously you have a very difficult position given the history of the board. I think now with the latest appointment we have, you have a quorum now officially.
We do.
Which is good.
Thank
so
you.
You can move on forward with the work. Your caseload obviously has been enormous given the economic recession, which was the worst since 1929. It couldn't come at a worse time, but you have made much progress in terms of dealing with so many unfortunate cases. As you underscored, these are very sensitive, delicate cases because these are individuals whose livelihoods for their families were on the line and needed to have their cases dealt with as soon as possible. And the backlog was enormous, but there has been a lot of progress moving forward. We're going to open it up to those individuals who are in support of Mr. Dressler's nomination. For those in support, I'd ask for brevity. For those in opposition, I'd ask for brevity as well. For those in support of Mr. Dressler, please come on up. Welcome, Mr. Wetch.
Mr. Pro Tem and Member Scott Wetch, on behalf of the State Association of Electrical Workers, the California State Pipe Trades Council, the Western States Council of Sheet Metal Workers, and the California Coalition of Utility Employees. We've known Mr. Dressler for many years. We've watched him on the board, and we strongly support his confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Crimmins, I don't know if you have an extra tie for Mr. Wetch. You know, he may have forgot last time. There you go. Okay. Mr. Broad.
Mr. Chairman and members, Barry Broad on behalf of the Teamsters. I've known Bob Dressler from the Jewish community for decades and worked with him there. I've known him in his professional capacity for the state over many decades, and this is one of the finest people that's ever been in state service. A truly, truly good man.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Broad. Thank you. Next witness in support.
I'm Judith Larson. I'm owner of Larson Associates and executive director of Jericho, a voice for justice. Bob has been on the board of Jericho since its inception, which was almost 30 years ago, and he's actually the go-to man when we need ideas, when we need advice. He's never steered us wrong, and he's been there for us all the time. I want to endorse him.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Larson. Thank you. Mr. Mejia.
Mr. Chairman, members, Jose Mejia, California State Council of Laborers. Certainly in strong support of his confirmation. I so much appreciate the fact that he took on this backlog, despite the time that he had to deal with it. Certainly the funding was a big issue. Certainly a man of high character. I've known him for many, many years and worked with him at various capacities, and certainly urge your confirmation.
Thank you, Reg. Mr. Mejia. Mr. Crimmins.
Mr. Chairman, with great reference and deference to the committee and properly addressed, we're in full support of Mr. Dressler. He's had a great history in his capacity now, also prior, though, and has shown himself to be deferential and even-handed in both labor and management relations, and that we appreciate. And he's led the board through some of the darkest times in unemployment, and much appreciated, and we fully support him. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members, Phil Vermeulen, representing Allied Managed Care, Acclimation Insurance Management Services, California Fence Contractors, and the Flasher Barricade Association. I've had the pleasure of working with Mr. Dressler for many, many years, and since he's come on as the chair of the Unemployment Appeals Board, we know how great of a job he's done, and he's done a yeoman's job of turning it around. We were under court order by the feds. We had a lot of problems going on. Bob has turned things around, and I can't say enough great words about Bob and urge his appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any other folks in support? Any other folks in support? Seeing none, those in opposition? Any folks in opposition? Seeing no folks in opposition, do we have a motion? We have a motion made by the Vice Chair, Ms. Fuller. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Canella? Aye. Canella, aye. Leyva? Mitchell? Fuller? Aye. Fuller, aye. DeLeon?
Aye.
DeLeon, aye.
Mr. Dressler, you have enough votes to move on. We're going to keep the roll open so the other members may add on upon their return to the committee. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I might add that Senator Corbett is a welcome addition.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That makes these members of this committee feel good. Thank you very much, Mr. Dressler. Okay, colleagues, we're going to move on. File items number 2 through 8. I'm sorry, 3 through 8. 3 through 8. Do we have a motion? We have a motion made by Madam Vice Chair. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators Canella? Aye. Canella, aye. Leyva? Mitchell? Fuller? Aye. Fuller, aye. DeLeon?
Aye.
DeLeon, aye.
File items number 3 through 8 pass on a 3-0 vote. We're going to keep the file open for the other members so they may add on. With that, Mr. Canella and Ms. Fuller, you may leave. You know, have a good day. Okay.
Tell me twice.
Just one thing you want to know, for the record, when Republicans help you, it's a lot.
Thank you.
I don't think you actually have to write that one. Okay, could we contact to... We're done. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I waited. Yeah. So, no, Madam Secretary, let's lift the call on files items number 1 through 8.
Senator Mitchell? Aye. Mitchell, aye.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Ms. Mitchell. Thank you very much. We just got Ms. Leyva. That's it.
That is it. I think this is a record, a new record.
Actually, this is the way. Huh? Is her bill in Health Committee?
Across the hall.
Secretary List, please call the roll for file items number 1 through 8.
Senator Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye.
Measures passed. Thank you very much, Ms. Leyva. Thank you very much.
5-0.
5-0 on all items, file items 1 through 8. The Senate Rules Committee is adjourned. Thank you very much.